Okay, good morning to everyone. Uh, Today we'll start with your the first class, that is the subject energy and building. Um, of course, this is overall overview of this subject. Um, the subject code is 18 CCT 331. Of course, it is going to be evaluated for 40 marks internal, that is continuous internal evaluation CIE, and semester end examination, that is for 60 marks. Of course, uh, the question paper will be for 100 marks, and finally they are going to reduce it by 60 marks. Okay, when it comes to the course objectives, uh, first main objective is to understand the importance of energy conservation. So, when it comes to the energy conservation, we can see when it comes to the energy conservation, this word is very important. How the energy can be conserved in the buildings. That we are going to learn in this subject. That is the first objective of this subject. How energy can be conserved in the buildings. Then how exactly it can be conserved? That is the next question. With a proper building techniques. So for example, you can take uh, the paint system. You can take one example, that is paint. What kind of paint is suitable for conserving or reducing the power consumption in the buildings? So if you have different types of paints are available. If I use one kind of paint to my buildings, can I going to save the energy in the buildings, especially in the interiors of the buildings? It is not outside, it is interior of the building. So in that way, what we'll do is that we will study how energy can be conserved in the buildings. Uh, in India, if you see, the importance of this is uh, is very high. In India, because we can construct or we can propose, okay, this paint is suitable, this style is suitable for this building, based on some of, like okay, this is a low cost, this is a high cost, but will not go in terms of the energy. So now, why the importance is uh, going high means only due to the energy concept. If you are designing your building with the energy saving technique or this one, it will be very good. Suppose assume that uh, consider one house or one house. It is consuming 100 units of power, normally it is determined with 100 units of power per month. Then if it is consuming 100 units of power, normally 1 unit of power is nothing but it is 1000 watt per hour. Means if it is consuming 1000 watt in 1 hour, it is considered as 1 unit. For this, if you want to generate 1 unit of power, we have to use some amount of coal, because nowadays what is happening is that from where the energy is coming, that is more important. So if you see the sources, we have one is thermal power plants, thermal power plants, then nuclear, then you have hydro, then you have hydrogen, so if you see the dependability of India, we are purely dependent on this, because we are using more than 70 to 80% thermal power plants to generate the power. Means even if you are I said that we have one house is there, 100 units of power which is consuming per month. So then for this we are using, assume that we are using 1 kg of coal. Assume that for 100 units power generation, if we are using 1 kg of coal, then how much carbon it is emitting? How much? Because coal, you know that its major component is carbon. How much carbon it is emitting? Means see, roughly, if you say that if you burn 1 kg, so roughly you are releasing around 20 grams of CO2 to the atmosphere. Now we'll link this. So 100 units, 1 kg coal, then it is 20 grams of CO2. Then we can link this. Even if you save 1 unit in this, you are contributing to the directly to the carbon dioxide emission. Means directly you are saving or you are contributing to the environment. That is why if you see the revised NBC National Building Code, they are revising all the codes, how, what exactly the type of roofs you have to provide, what kind of painting systems you have to provide, It is all based on now the energy saving policies. Energy saving policy. Then our main importance in this energy conservation has to be, or the techniques, whatever we are studying in this whole subject, ultimately the main contribution has to go to the energy saving. Then, second objective is the first one. The second one is, that is to understand the importance of non-renewable resources. For example, some of the renewable and non-renewable resources are there that we'll discuss in detail. Which are those things? Of course, it is a basic things. You already studied that. How exactly these non-renewable resources are useful? This is very important. One more, we are going ahead with solar power. One separate chapter is there, but of course, this is not that much economical for power generation. That we will discuss in detail. Then when it comes to the non-renewable resources, we have to always target this. What are these impacts on the environment? How we have to go with the renewable resources? Whatever the thermal we are dealing with, these are all comes under, because one or the other day the coal will go. We have to dependent on the solar, even the nuclear also sometimes it will go. But many people will say that the nuclear is a renewable sources because huge amount of uranium is there. Hydro, of course, renewable. Hydrogen, that is also very important. Hydrogen means that we'll discuss in detail the water electrolysis technique. That is the second objective what we are going to uh, study. The third one is to design the energy efficient buildings. So ultimately, by understanding these two, the major goal is design any building technique so that it has to conserve the energy in the buildings. Second one is to study with respect to the non-renewable resources. The third one is to design the energy efficient buildings. So this is very important. Ultimately, once you learn this subject, we should be able to design the energy efficient buildings by focusing on all the aspects, whichever the aspects we are studying in buildings, that you have to study. And one more very important thing is that this subject is very important. Why? Because in India, very few persons are there to design energy efficient buildings. Many are there to design the buildings, but should always focus on energy efficient buildings. Suppose if you are specialized, or if you are um, going with uh, energy efficient technologies in buildings, so a lot of demand is there in the future, because everybody is asking that now, if I save 1 unit of power, I am going to contribute uh, 2 grams of, around less than 2 grams of carbon dioxide I am reducing. Due to this global warming, the importance has been increased for this, for the design of energy efficient buildings. So then, the first module, we are going to study the conservation, the energy efficiency concepts, overview of the significance of energy use, how energy can be used. This is very important. How the energy is using in the buildings. For example, your walls are how much they are consuming the energy. Your tiles are how much it is absorbing, how much it is releasing. That is also very important. How the glass is releasing the energy. Energy is not only in terms of heat, it also in terms of light also. For example, if it is dark in room, means if the light is very less, normally we'll switch on the light. Once you switch on the light, means you are using the power. Once you are using the power, means it is directly contributed to the carbon dioxide emission. Whatever the technology you have to build, always you have to correlate with the CO2 emission. Because the subject is whole dependent on the unit of power. So if this much unit of power is there, then I have to equivalent to how much carbon dioxide emission. That is why I always try to build the technologies so that you can relate that to the CO2 emissions. Then their global energy, how much it is there, what is the scenario in India comparing with the other countries and other states, that we are going to discuss. Then which are the resources they are using, that also we are discussing. Then this is a very important importance of the temperature change. How exactly this temperature is going change is going to affect the with respect to the design of design of design of buildings. Then energy crisis in processing the buildings. That all the things we are going to design in the module first. The module second, it is completely related to the solar energy. Solar energy fundamentals. So how exactly the solar energy we are getting? What are the solar techniques we have right now? And what are the challenges in future? Because one day, whatever we are talking about the coal based thermal power plants, definitely it is going to over. So ultimately we have to go for the solar energy only, or the hydrogen what we are talking about. So then how exactly this can be implemented in the buildings? Sometimes we'll go a little bit theory part of how exactly the radiation is coming from the sun, how exactly it can be reflected, how it can be absorbed in some of the solar techniques what we are installing in our houses, and how exactly we are going to measure it. That also we are going to discuss. Then design decisions for this is very important. Optimal orientation. How exactly the orientation of the building should be. If you need the maximum solar power, then how we have to design, or how we have to orientation what we are talking about. Orientation. What will be the orientation of the building? Then shadow analysis. This is also very important. For example, if you have tree is there, at what side you have to put the tree? That also one separate technique is there. Normally we'll neglect all those things, whatever the orientation, shadow analysis during our construction, but major importance should be given even when the orientation as well as the shadow analysis. All the techniques we will study in detail in this module second. Then the third module completely related to your air condition AC systems. How your air conditioning system is going to help uh, to conserve the energy in the buildings. That is the first one. What you are talking about the ACs, that is the air conditioning systems. Then second one is the natural air conditioning systems. Normally we can call it as the ducts. How exactly the ducts can be designed for the natural ventilation process? This is very important.